Welcome to the PJ's 4x4 installation guide for the TopUp Ute lid. Please note that this is a guide only, and all those who wish to undertake this fitting are recommended to have at least an intermediate knowledge of accessory fitting, have an understanding of adjustments, and are comfortable with working with hand tools. The following installation has been performed on a Ford Ranger. Please note that on other model vehicles, many of the aspects of this fitting will be very similar, if not the same. Start by ensuring the original sports bars have been removed and the tub is clear of any previous accessories. Clean down the top of the tub with an alcohol-based cleaner or Prepsol. Install the supplied foam tape with adhesive back around the entire perimeter of the tub, excluding the tailgate. Your initial mounting bracket should look something like this. Although they may look different on other models, they all use original threaded holes or mounting positions and do not require any drilling. You may wish to use the provided bolts or the original bolts if there were sports bars in place. Take your main mounting bracket, which contains the front arm. Install over the tub, ensuring that the front plate is in front and in line with the initial mounting bracket. Using a white marker or similar, mark the position of the rear of the main mounting bracket. Then remove the bracket. Take the rear under tub bracket as shown and install to the tub. Ensure the center of the bracket is just inside your pen mark. Install the two provided bolts with washers and tighten. Reinstall the main mounting bracket, which contains the front arm, making sure that it slips over the brackets that have been prefixed to the tub. Install the two provided bolts to the front and to the back and do them up loosely. Proceed to lifting the bracket upwards to bring level. Once level, tighten all bolts. Now, complete the entire process on the other side of the tub. Your fitting should currently look like this. Take the rear arm and install into the slotted position of the main mounting bracket. Once in place, slide through the brass locking pin from the outside in. Then install the provided washer and circlip to lock the arm in place. Now it's time to install the gas struts. Take the strut and install to the hole mount on the rear arm using the washer and nut provided. Ensure to install with the cylinder end facing upwards as shown. Using a solid base such as a piece of timber, take the gas strut compression bracket and compress the gas strut as shown. Please take great care during this process and ensure the compression bracket is firmly locked into place before making any further movements. Move the threaded end and place it into one of the hole mounts towards the middle of the main mounting bracket. The top hole is for dual cab and the bottom hole is for space cab. Collapse all four arms as shown. Now move on to preparing the outer skin of the lid for its sports bars. Add masking tape to the fiberglass sport bar wells to protect the paint. Upend your sports bars on an appropriate surface as not to scratch or damage them. Remove the tub mounting brackets and feet. Cut the plug wires and tape down so that they do not retract into the bar. Extend the wires by 120 mm or desired length to ensure easy reattachment once mounted. Remove the provided rubber feet along with the square washers and bolts from their package. Add the rubber feet to the bottom of your sports bars and dry mount the bars to the outer skin of the lid. Once you have accurately aligned the sports bars to the desired location on the outer skin of the lid, mark around the outside of each sports bar foot with a marker to save the bar position. Remove the bars and insert the bolts that were provided with your sports bar rubber feet into the existing threaded holes in the bottom of the feet. Only screw them in a few turns each. Place the sports bars back into the same marked position on the outer skin lid and mark around the bolt heads with a marker. Ensure to make an extra mark at the foot that contains the sport bar wiring using a 6mm drill bit and appropriate personal protective equipment for drilling through fiberglass. Drill through the center of all your marked bolt heads. Then, using an 11mm drill bit or similar, re-drill your holes larger. Once all holes are drilled, clear off the fiberglass debris and dry fit your sports bars once again. This time ensuring that you can tighten the bolts from the underside with the square washers provided. Remove the bars one last time. Remove all masking tape to reveal the painted surface below. Add a high ring of silicone around each hole. The purpose of this is not to seal the sports bars to the lid, but to create a water barrier around the hole to prevent water from entering the tub space from under the sports bars. Install the sports bar back onto the outer skin lid for a final time, ensuring that you carefully guide the wiring through its hole and avoid squashing the silicone walls created in the last step. Now add your square washers back to your sports bar bolts along with some medium strength Loctite. The Loctite is essential as once the outer skin is installed you won't be able to access the bolts for retightening. Tighten all sports bar bolts firmly. You may hear the fiberglass crackling slightly. This is the layers of the fiberglass compressing and is completely normal. However, keep an eye on the underside and ensure not to over tighten. Join your sports bar wiring back together and solder. Ensure each individual wire is insulated, then bundle and wrap into a single loom. Using two people, carefully place the outer skin lid onto the tub of the vehicle. Push the lid all the way forwards. Don't worry about alignment of this, as you'll do that towards the end. Extend all four of the arms upwards as shown. Prepare your nuts and washers. Using two people, install the main center lid to the four mechanism feet. Add a nut and washer to each bolt on each foot. Only add them loosely for now to allow adjustment. Carefully close the center main lid, ensuring not to strike the outer lid on the way down. Have one person lay down in the tub with tools to tighten the nuts on the center lid. Once in the down position, pull the lid backwards to gain a good margin off the tailgate. Also allow the edges of the center of the lid to have the same margin across the edge of the tailgate as possible. Remember that you are aligning the center of the lid only. Don't pay attention to the outer lid or its margins at this stage. While one person is on the outside holding the lid firmly in its desired position, have the person on the inside tighten the nuts on the center lid. Once tight, have the person on the outside ensure that the lid has remained in the desired positions. Cycle the lid through its full range of positions as shown. 1. Into the 45-degree position. 2. Into the fully upright position. To achieve this, pull backwards and up at the same time. 3. Back down into the 45-degree position. And 4. Completely closed. Again, check that the lid hasn't moved from its desired position. Now it's time to move on to the outer lid adjustment. Pull the outer lid backwards to align with the center lid as best as possible. Check the margins along the sides and at the front of the lid, noting that these lids are handmade, so your margins may never be exactly perfect. Check the inner margins between the outer lid and the center lid, particularly the 45-degree margin and the rear margin closest to the cab of the ute. Once those margins are reasonable and acceptable, it's time to fasten the front of the outer lid closest to the vehicle cab. Take the right angle bracket into the far corners of the lid and install between the main mounting bracket and the outer lid as shown. Don't forget to reattach the sports bar plug. When fastening the outer lid bolts, ensure to interchange between either side bolts to ensure the lid comes down evenly. Bring the outer lid down until the lid is hard down against the sealing rubber and there is no visible light showing around the lid. Then tighten down the top nut to secure. Install the rear outer lid fixing brackets either side of the outer lid as shown. Loosely install the nuts and washers. Now close the lid again and take the time to check the rear margins between the inner and outer lids. Determine if you need to hold the outer lid side in or out to adjust the margin. Push or pull the outer lid sides to the desired position and tighten the mounting nuts. Loosen the nuts and bolts of the side latches as shown. Bring the center lid down and hold in position level with the outer skin lid. Push the latches upwards until you hear two distinct clicks. Once both latches and the lid are in the desired position, tighten the latches, nuts and bolts. Close the lid firmly and ensure the lid closes nicely into the desired position. Check that the opening handle functions correctly along with the key lock. Now it's time to add the front stopper brackets. Remove the inside nut from the front center lid mounts and install the stopper bracket. Replace the original nuts. Ensure that the stopper brackets clears the lid in all positions. Lubricate all joints, check all nuts and bolts, and apply supplied nut caps to finish. Finally, add the supplied assist strap to the mechanism, clean off the lid, and ready for delivery to the end user. Thank you for watching the PJ's 4x4 Top-Up Ute Lid Installation Guide.